my first ever fully custom Funko, my first ever female figure. Let's get on it. Hello, I am Mark and I paint Corinthians and I also paint other kinds of figures. And one of the kinds that has been garnering quite a lot of interest recently is the Funko Pop figures. Something else that might be taking people's interest at the moment is the Women's World Cup, which started yesterday at the time of filming. And I thought I would put those two things together for today's video. The reason I'm doing that is I've decided to make a figure for my niece, who is a big football fan. She loves Newcastle, but she also loves watching the women's game. And I've discovered that there aren't any women players in the Funko Pop footballers range. Pull your finger out, Funko. But until there is, I've decided that I'm going to have a go at making one myself. And that is going to entail taking a male player, I've got a Gary Cahill, and swapping the head and maybe, how shall I put this, adjusting the shape of the chest a little bit. And yeah, I thought I'd have a go at making a Funko Pop figure for my niece. Her favourite player is Fran Kirby, so I googled Funko Pop figures because I needed to find one with a ponytail in order to swap the head onto the Gary Cahill figure. I found a Betty Cooper figure, whoever Betty Cooper may be, and yeah, she seemed good for the job. I was so keen to crack on with this that I've already removed the heads from both figures. See? And if you want a video explaining how to do that in a bit more detail, click in the card. If you've watched that video, you may have noticed that on this one, the head came off slightly differently. I only left it in the water for slightly longer, and actually it made the glue give on the plastic disc that is underneath the head there, and the whole thing came out, which possibly could come in handy in putting it onto the Gary Cahill body, because the heads are slightly different sizes. So no, don't look at there, but they are slightly different sizes. I don't know if that will affect putting it back on, but I've just decided I'm going to cross that bridge when I come to it. And until then, enjoy watching this part of the video, which is going to be the slight remodel on the chest shape and the painting of the England kit for the Women's 2019 World Cup. Let's get on with it. Yeah, unfortunately, that's where the work in progress footage for this one stops. As some of you have probably worked out, I'm not exactly a big budget YouTuber. The only cameras I own, one is attached to my laptop and one is attached to my phone. I've got one of those sort of flexible claw hand things to put my phone in when I'm filming the first person bits, and it snapped after I'd just remodeled the front of the figure. So I couldn't do the rest. Normally I probably would have just waited, but this one's on a deadline. I'm going down to see my family today, so I'm going to see my niece at some point this week to give her the figure. But it is finished. Let's have a look at it now. So there she is, and here she is. My first ever head transplanted Funko. You can see that was the reason why, the ponytail. Happy with the paintwork, as usual. That's what I know. So yeah, silver boots, official England font for the name and number on the back, all the badges and things I was happy with. A couple of things. I mentioned earlier the head coming off in a different way. I don't know if the football ones are made differently, because all of them, when I've removed the heads before, they've just come off. That plastic disc stayed in there. On this one, yeah, like I say, it was slightly different. The hole to slide that peg back into was slightly smaller, so I just drilled it to make it the right size to get the head back on. That was fine. The remodeling, I didn't want her to have like a full-on man body. I thought that'd be a little bit insulting. So yeah, I've just reshaped the chest a little bit. I mean, obviously she's not Lara Croft, but I wanted to make her a bit less manly because I didn't want to insult anyone. The join isn't quite as smooth as I'd like, but I think it is acceptable. You know, it doesn't look ridiculous. It looks pretty good, and like I say, every time I make a new kind of figure, I learn something. So you know, maybe next time if I do another one of these, then I'll be a bit better equipped to do it, basically. So yeah, every time I make a new kind of figure, learn something, and I'm waffling. So I'll just say that is the end of today's video. If I deserved it, I would appreciate the like. Thank you for any comments. Thank you for subscribing. Enjoy the World Cup. I will see you all again soon.